This lesson is how to sew on a button. First off, if there's any loose threads or anything, cut those away from the fabric so that all you have is just the fabric there. Alright, you're going to need a spool of thread, a needle, the fabric, or the garment, the button, and a thimble. Now, if you don't use a thimble to sew, then you're never going to be a good seamstress, or basically a good craftsperson, because you've got to protect this finger. And yeah, it's the middle finger, but that's the one that you're going to be using to push the needle, push the needle through the fabric. And you can't do it with your bare flesh, because you're going to have a hole, a very painful, deep hole in your middle finger if you don't use this thimble. So you've got to learn how to use a thimble. Just practice on some old fabric. Practice sewing and pushing it through with this. And pretty soon it'll be second nature, okay, to use it. So, they've got different size thimbles. Just go to the craft shop and try them on until you get one that fits your finger. Now, to start out with this project, make sure you choose thread that matches the button. Hold it against where it came off. Alright, and then push your needle through from the bottom. And, oh, sorry. You've got to do a knot in the end of the thread. Do a knot in the end of the thread to anchor it. Okay, and that's going to be on the underside of the fabric. So, place your button there, and then push it up through there using the single strand of thread. Back down through. You're going to do this 7 or 8 times to anchor this button on your garment. So do that several times, 7 or 8 times, like I say. Back and forth, back and forth. You don't have to do it a whole bunch of times, because this next step is going to show you why you don't have to do it a bunch of times. Okay, so 4, 5, 6 times, alright? Now, push your needle up in under the button, as close to the button actually, and thread there, the thread under the button as you can. Now pull that out. Now these next 2 steps are what separate the novices from the professionals. Okay, wrap that thread around the bottom of that button tightly, like that. Oh, 8, 10 times. Now, the next step, take your needle and take small stitches around the bottom and against that thread. What you're doing is you are anchoring that thread that you circled the button, or along the bottom of the button. You're anchoring that. You're sewing it in. And see, now watch why you need this thimble. Push that, take that thimble, push it through. You couldn't do that with a bare finger. You just can't do it with a bare finger. Okay, go all the way around, push it through. And once you've made it all the way around the bottom there, push your needle back through at any point there to the bottom of the fabric. Okay, here's the bottom. And do 3 or 4 short stitches underneath there to make sure everything is all anchored and solid, basically solid. Okay, cut the loose thread, or the thread off. Now, let me show you. See how that button rocks around? See how much give there is in that? This button's not going to come off again. It just is not going to come off again. No matter how many times you put the garment on, take it off, or whatever. Look how much better it's done than this that came from the factory. See, that is sewn directly onto the shirt. There's no give. I mean, that button is going to come off. Now back to our button. You see? See, it's just atop a little island like it. It's been propped up for you, but it doesn't show. I mean, it just looks like a regular button from the front. I took home economics for 2 years, hundreds of hours, and this is the one lesson that I brought away with me. How to sew on a button. Good luck.